So on today's Before and After with Celeste Best and Rena, we are doing Godzilla -1.
Godzilla, well, wow. I mean, what a shock. I know that you guys, longtime fans of Celeste is Best and, like, in the before times, would never think that we would talk about Godzilla. That's not a topic.
I've got a Godzilla on the back of my coat. You've got a Godzilla shirt on?
We have a toy Godzilla in literally every room of our house except the bathroom. Like, I'm not joking, you guys.
And the only reason he isn't in the bathroom is because Gachapin is in the bathroom and I don't want him to kill the mascot to, you know.
We do have a Godzilla just outside the bathroom, though,
yeah.
so it kind of counts. So, yeah, we're Godzilla gays. We're really into the whole Godzilla thing.
Yeah, I just love Godzilla. Ah woo.
Ah woo. Well, I as if I do not also love Godzilla. Ah woo.
I saw one trailer, kind of. So I have no expectations.
I've been avoiding.
I want my grumpy boy.
Spoilers. The things I know about this one is that it's set like almost 10 years before the original movie. So like,
which is fine.
Which is very cool. Yeah, no, it's a new setting. Apparently I've been hearing really great things about the human drama, and yeah, I'm really excited to go back. I've been appreciating that the Japanese side of Godzilla movies, basically post-Final Wars, we've been going very much back to Godzilla being like a singular force of nature and not necessarily having to have him wrestle another kaiju. Not that I don't enjoy kaiju wrestling. I like King of the Monsters as much as the next person.
But I also like Godzilla being a threat.
Yeah, I like scary Godzilla. My favorite Godzilla movies, when I was little, I preferred the monster wrestle ones. But, like, as I get older, the original 84 and Shin kind of slowly become more and more my favorites, just because I really like the human drama, and I like Godzilla being a terrifying force of nature.
Uh-huh.
And I'm excited to see that Godzilla.
Not a terrifying force of Shinto?
Okay, yeah. See, then there's GMK, my favorite, which has him both as a monster wrestler and as, like, a religious, like, existential threat, which is amazing. Absolutely. I'm really excited, though, because I've been hearing really good things both from Japan and from
people who've seen it over here.
We're seeing it with friends. Friends of the channel. Miles from Casual Trek and his wife, Reanna. And also at this point, Reina and my go-to buddy for subtitled Godzilla movies, the paper cosplay himself, one of the person who dragged us up to Madison to see Shin back in 2016. So, like...
You know, I might have fallen asleep in the theater, but no regrets, I was sick.
Shin was such a great movie. I cannot wait to watch this movie. I think this is gonna rock. I'm really excited for this one.
I'm so excited. I haven't not liked a Godzilla movie.
That's true. Like, I mean, the most lukewarm I have been on a modern Godzilla movie was 2014.
I think the most I've been on a Godzilla movie has been Astro Monster.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the most I've been on a Godzilla movie so far.
Every time I go back to it, Astro Monster, I'm more and more convinced it's a really good Nick Adams movie and not so good a Godzilla movie.
So what I'm hoping for is something that's not Astro Monster.
Okay, I
want something that isn't
That's fair. I'm so excited for this
I want something that plays honor to the guy who lost 80 pounds sweating every day in that Godzilla costume in the first movie.
I'm hoping for a well-acted, scary drama. I don't know if... Shin really set my bar really high for Godzilla movies. But, let's see what this one brings to the table. I'm very excited. Godzilla -1. Oh boy, a subtitled Godzilla movie in American theaters again.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what? We're just gonna film B-roll of Godzilla toys for this.
That sounds excellent. Let's do that.
Love you guys.
Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side. Here's the official after of After for -1 by Godzilla. Wait, it's by Godzilla?
By Godzilla, yes.
Yeah,
Godzilla
Godzilla went to the... we had 2 Godzillas in the theater.
We had... Yeah, we did.
We had Millennium Godzilla, tiny little bitty
Yes.
Millennium Godzilla, and we had original
Gojitan?
Godzilla.
Gojitan, yeah.
Gojitan. He's small.
And we are in the home of fellow Nerd and Tie podcast hoster from Casual Trek. It's Miles Reed Lovato.
Woo!
Keep calm and have a jelly baby.
Yeah.
And Reanna!
And we got Reanna.
We got Reed.
Regular a presence frequently felt in Casual Trek, dare I say.
Constantly talked about.
Constantly talked about. It's cool to be a wife guy. I stand by this. You know, anyway.
Okay, so, first opinion, the movie was excellent.
Yeah.
Second opinion, I don't think it was a prequel to the first movie.
To the 54 one, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
First movie.
Was that what it was intended as, or were
That's
people
what people
just
say
saying
that.
that's
We're
how
gonna-
they were seeing it?
People seem to assume that
We're
because
gonna
it's...
do a jump cut spoiler
Gotcha. Okay.
after this.
Okay.
See, I don't
Any
know,
other first takes that are relatively spoiler free?
Well, I'm surprised that Matthew Broderick didn't appear, because I assumed that this film was actually a prequel to the 1998 Roland Emmerich, Dean Devlin,
the cat
epic masterpiece.
The cat just pulled a Godzilla and threw your phone at my foot.
I mean, you know me, I love a Roland Emmerich film, so.
The fact that it never referred to the main character as like the dad of Worm Guy was kind of surprising.
I'm shocked that the Oppenheimer sequel was out this quickly, but it was good. The tone was wildly different, but it was good.
It was tonally better than Astro Monster in every conceivable way.
Okay, that was
your opinion.
The first review I saw of it was saying I cried. I'm like, I cry at everything. And I just don't see myself. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cry at a Godzilla movie. And then, I'm not gonna say any spoilers. I don't know if we're avoiding spoilers
for this, and then we're going to cut.
Then we'll go full spoilers.
So toward the end, I was like, oh yeah, it hit. Like, all right,
also cried.
I get it.
Yeah. Also cried.
We were all in a row in the back of the theater, holding hands.
That was. I think the entire back row was
is group
crying.
therapy.
No, I think with some of the themes, it kind of was a group therapy.
Yeah.
Welcome to Godzilla minus talking about your feelings.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1. Let's skip. If you haven't seen the film, fine, I guess. Please watch Godzilla 1954.
Yeah.
Please
at
watch
the very least.
Please watch at least that film, or 89, or 2000, or Singular Point. Watch one of those, please. Please.
Maybe don't walk up to random people and expect them to be your friend in the theater either.
Oh god.
Maybe just a suggestion.
Why do we attract those people?
Every time.
Because I used to be those people.
Okay, there was that one time, but that turned out to be cheesy, so it was okay.
That's true.
But cheesy's good people.
Cheesy's good people.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've seen those already, and you're ready for spoilers, we're going to spoil the ever-loving heck out of this.
Let's do it.
So,
Godzilla more like Godzilla minus imperialist misogyny, am I right?
Oh my god.
Godzilla minus
so
toxic
this
masculinity.
movie starts 3 days after my grandpa leaves the Bikini Islands for the last time. After his watch is the only thing that gets him home. Because his watch isn't a battery-powered watch, it's a wind-up watch. He was just outranged for the nuclear test that they were doing, that made a Godzilla.
Randa's grandpa was not actually in the movie.
He wasn't in the movie. But I'm saying...
Wait, your
Started not
grandfather's
appearing
not
in this film.
Raymond Burr?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
He's
My
not-
my grandpa's too much of a problem for that.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is, I know someone who was literally there when they showed those ships getting destroyed.
Well, I mean, technically, it starts even a little before that because our main character is a kamikaze pilot, and watching him deal with the aftermath of not pulling the trigger.
He is either the world's worst kamikaze pilot for not going ahead with the gig, or the world's best kamikaze pilot for going, screw this, I'm not going ahead with the gig.
Which is the key theme of the movie.
Plot of the film.
Yes. Just the way that it all came around in the end.
Oh,
was
hey! This is a
satisfying
very,
as
very
hell.
problematic Japanese thing
Yeah.
that the original Godzilla movie talked about.
In general, I'm blown away that this has been such a hit in Japan. Because, like, this is very much wants to talk about World War II.
Deeply
And-
critical
and-
of
yeah.
how things were handled.
And it is not happy with...
Yeah.
It is brutal in its depiction of what the Allies did to Japan, which, speaking as someone whose grandfather was on that island hopping campaign... Grandfathers, yeah, we're doing that island hopping campaign, not necessarily something that everything that to be proud of, and then but it also is like, actually, imperialism was really bad, and no one got anything good out of this.
They even take a break and tell you exactly what the problem is.
It's like
the middle of the movie.
Like, they stopped one step short of, like, pulling down, like, a screen and being like, here, turn on the overhead projector.
This is the problem with war!
This is how imperialism only benefits
Intermission.
the upper classes.
This is why Remnants of Zeon shouldn't be allowed to be in a new movie!
I admit, to quickly, when they have, like, the big meeting on how to deal with Godzilla, I was admittedly very surprised where the scientist with the crazy hair just go, I knocked up this invention in my basement.
Noda?
I call it an oxygen destroyer.
Noda, the best human in the film.
Yes.
Noda
No, I
is
loved him.
such a great character.
I loved him and his hair.
I love that we got a little gang. We got a little montage.
The fact that, like, I don't necessarily agree when people say that the human parts of Godzilla movies are always the bad parts. In my experience, a lot of them are quite good. You just watched it in English and you didn't hear how good the acting was. But I mean, that's overly simplifying.
Yeah.
But
There's only one where the human element is bad.
But, like, this was one where I'm gonna be honest, the bit after the kamikaze scene when it's just our main character hanging out in post-war Japan making his found family,
Yes.
I forgot it was a Godzilla movie for a
No,
little
I
bit.
know. I know. I was loving it so much.
And then it's like, hey, by the way, the stakes again. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Oh no, you poor man.
Is this the most evil Godzilla we've gotten in a film which isn't a Godzilla powered by the souls of the war dead, as in Godzilla versus Mothra versus King Ghidorah?
Yeah,
No.
my favorite.
No?
Shin Godzilla.
Is Shin Godzilla actually evil and not just in a lot
Shin
of pain?
Godzilla is the body of a very, very
Okay.
pissed off
I mean,
scientist.
Shin Godzilla is mixed though, because like, yeah, there is the element of that scientist, but also like, I don't know, the individual cruelty we see -1 Godzilla do.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like the only other times I can think of Godzilla being that directly cruel is in the 54 one, when the first time he uses the atomic breath, it is literally to torch people on the ground. It is directly at them.
So,
And-
as a relative Godzilla newbie, can I make a take here?
Yeah.
Sure.
When Godzilla shows up on Odo Island, the first thing they do is train the light on him, and just startles him.
Yeah.
And then Shikijima resists shooting him, and then they all shoot him, and that's when he starts going berserk.
That's true. Godzilla doesn't start getting... This is a very territorial.
He starts as curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my take. is
Oh,
that,
gee, it's almost as if you poke a bear and it's gonna eat you.
No.
and then they just keep on making it angrier.
It's that great age-old final line of every single bad 50s science fiction film. Hang on. Let me adopt my my cold American accent.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
They tempered in God's domain.
So,
I think for me, Godzilla in this is not evil. I think
it's
it's
a
more,
reactionary.
Yeah.
It's playing more to Godzilla as a force of nature.
And then, like, he only
Kind of thing.
starts aggressively attacking ships when
They try to hurt
when
him.
he takes
Yeah.
a nuclear bomb in the mush.
That was
Yeah.
my take.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of what they spoilers for Monarch Legacy of Monsters. In episode 3 we get a flashback
La, la,
to
la, 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 la.
oh crap. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, we haven't watched
We don't
it.
have Apple TV
Okay.
yet.
There's a flashback.
Well, you need to come over very, very soon so we can.
That's
There's a flashback to like the Bikini Islands, which is and then Godzilla is lured on shore using like a Godzilla cry, and the U.S. troops okay, so we're gonna just set off this bomb right in its face. A plan with see what happens if you set off a bomb in a Godzilla's face. A plan with no drawbacks. A plan with no drawbacks.
I mean, there's a line literally near the beginning of the film, like, will it just make it angrier?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
literally, they literally line it out, I think. It's just kind of like...
Also, to be fair, that scene is implied in the 2014 movie, and it's shown in the comic book.
Yeah, that's the same scene they show in the,
If you-
show.
Oh, okay.
If you poke a bear,
Maybe
if you
the
give
bear
a
won't-
bear enough cocaine.
Now, do we want...
So, hey, what other thing as far as spoilers go? I'm so happy we didn't fridge the girl.
Me too!
Same!
I mean,
That was going to be my biggest problem.
I was saying, I got a little bit of a... kind of a... I think,
League?
it's like, she just kind of got blown away. We didn't see a body.
I know, right?
And I was like...
I was like, there's no way she's dead.
I was like, am I just being optimistic?
Telegraph,
I
it's her!
I think she survived somehow.
This movie's
And then-
pretty graphic,
and then-
so yeah.
And then when, what's her name? That Auntie?
Sumiko?
Sumiko.
Got the telegram, I'm like, she's alive.
Same.
The ending, it was one of those things where I could see where it was going, but I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
It was the
Exactly.
same with...
There were a couple moments where I'm like, I see what's coming, but I wasn't disappointed in that. I was like, good. It's where I wanted it to go.
So
it's where I saw it going, and I'm happy with that.
I am bizarrely familiar with World War II era Japanese fighter planes,
Oh yeah.
and that's really weird for me. To look at that and go, hey, that plane was actually sorted in like a single digits number. And go, hey,
Yeah, well, yeah, as soon as the camera pulled away with the engineer...
it's the Cosmo Zero.
Tachibana being like,
And then
this thing, it's like, okay.
I
yeah.
pulled away. That is the eject button.
But they also
So
set it up
have
really
you
well.
seen Familiar of Zero?
No.
No.
Okay, because that has to do with what we're talking about.
Okay.
The climax.
Gonna have to take a look at that now.
It's okay, but yeah.
I liked how they got Tachibana the mechanic back in by essentially, as far as I can tell,
You can't take credit for that!
just mailed all his friends insulting letters saying Tachibana licks goats. I have proof. Come to this address. Please
Yep.
don't.
It was a
please
good
don't-
plan.
Please
It
don't
worked.
hit me. Yeah.
It was a beautiful plan. That is the way to get someone who doesn't talk to you to get to show up on your doorstep.
If I want to find a new editor, that's why I'm doing it.
I really was, but back to what you were saying before, Miles. I liked, especially with this indictment of imperialism, it was really beautiful that what saves the day are common people coming together.
It's all like all the working class and the veterans who have clearly been crapped on by the wider society and establishment, being the ones who have to step up, come up with a plan, and take care of Godzilla, because the Japanese government's not going to. The U.S. government's not going to.
Too busy with the Soviets.
And apparently they're not dropping the Soviets message saying, hey, there's a giant monster outside Japan. We may want to kind of head up a few meetings about this. No, okay.
No.
Is there any way we can edit this so it looks like the Russians set off the nuclear missile in this film? No.
GMC was too evil. We all know who I'm talking about.
MacArthur?
Yeah.
Dug out, Doug.
I have opinions. We should all have opinions.
I think that's my biggest critique of the movie, is that it is weird that a Reconstruction era Japan story, the only American you see in the entire movie is archival footage of MacArthur. Like, I'm sorry, especially in Tokyo, you would have seen
Tokyo
some
and
white
Ginza,
dudes.
there were a lot of white people.
Well, you can cut that. But that's that whole thing. Just, they're, like, admittedly, maybe that would have made the movie longer, because then you would have had, like,
you'd have to keep talking around it. But as far as I can tell, like, the tone of the film is a giant monster shows up outside Tokyo, and America goes, right, we're actually just gonna let you guys be free. We're actually gonna take all that stuff and leave.
You could sort this out. We trust you.
I think there is that moment where there's the journalist on top of the building, and it's like, they're right in front of our faces. I'm like, what are you doing? It's just like just a casual tail swipe. It's like,
your instinct is not to run, but to look at the monster. This is why we're going to die if aliens invade.
I did love the atomic breath had the mushroom cloud after it went off. I don't remember if they've done that before. I don't think
you would know better than I would.
I love how
they came close to it once.
The fins popped up like
that was beautiful.
They popped up like radiation rods.
God, that was cool.
Yes.
They did the mines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were water mines.
Okay. The bit the little bit I really liked was when it sets off the fire breath in Ginza for the first time, and Godzilla looks almost transfixed by the mushroom cloud he has caught.
Yes, that was...
There's that pause there.
Yeah. So good.
That is the Oppenheimer we have become deaf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is the why do I have this much power? You see Godzilla have that moment, actually.
Honestly, this would make no joke, as someone who did Barbieheimer on the same day in the cinema, 10 out of 10 would not recommend, honestly. This, no joking aside, would make a fantastic double feature by having Oppenheimer as your shot, and then Godzilla as you're still pretty serious, but also kind of fun chaser, because this is a very serious dramatic film, but like you got your cast of characters, you got your little boat of guys who are all clearly giving each other shit. They're all like, fucker.
You have those moments that release the tension just at the right moments. That was another part about the movie that I really appreciated.
They feel
was stitched together so well.
Really real, because these aren't like the really cool scientists or super spies who are building jet jaguars in their lover's apartment. They're just they're just these schlubs who...
I do feel like this is something that was written by the son of a fisherman.
Yeah. There was
like the grandson of a fisherman who was in World War II. Like, that's what it felt like. Someone who really loved Godzilla and was like, so there's another story to tell.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that after 70 years, the Godzilla series can still surprise me and engage me like this. Wow.
At 70 years, it's Godzilla, the longest running motion picture character.
No? King Kong.
Yeah.
Fair. That's fair. But
Dracula.
But Dracula's a novel. But we've had Dracula done by. But you've had Dracula done by different companies. You've had Kong
Kong is pretty stuck to the one.
Yeah,
Kong
like-
is pretty stuck. Like at the close, I would say.
So do you mean like started with a motion picture,
Or
not,
just like
not
such
as an adaptation?
Or like a long running series. Like
Yeah.
the closest I can think of would technically be James Bond.
And
But
even,
this is, I would say,
But still, no. Yeah.
they both have theme tunes which slap,
Godzilla.
and
Yeah.
this was used the Godzilla theme
Oh.
was used sparingly, but every time
Like,
it's used,
We were
it
just
is
saying, like, they used it judiciously. They
Yeah.
knew exactly the right
exactly where to
moments
use it.
to
Yeah.
pull it out. They didn't milk it too much.
No.
So that, like, when it finally came in, you're like, yeah, all right.
and
So one of the main parts of this film are the water mines that were laid by Americans. The magnetic mines,
Yeah.
which if people don't know how those work, they are attracted to metal. Godzilla's not made of metal. So the spines wouldn't go in and out again. There's no way that Godzilla themselves would decompress and trigger a US bomb.
oh.
Huh. Ah.
So, this is why I'm being interesting here.
Okay.
No, I'm here
So,
for it.
when they detonate the bombs on Godzilla, that's where Godzilla gets the impression to do the mine-like explosion for the nuclear attack.
I dig
This
that. That's
Godzilla
cool.
Huh.
grew from the things it was getting hurt by.
Yeah, it's very reactive. Like I know we touched on that earlier, but wow, I like that. I like that. read.
It's very much like Shin in the same way. It's actually getting stronger because of the things it's getting hurt with. Which is a very, very Japanese thing.
And an apt description of nuclear.
Wabi-sabi.
Uh,
Wabi-sabi. It's fixing something broken with gold.
Side note, I loved, that was something that I thought was really great, was you have that extremely gruesome mine goes off in Godzilla's mouth scene early in the movie, and when you see it later, that spot where it
It's
grew
still-
it back
It's
is still
still
kind
there.
of sore.
Yeah.
I also loved how this might be the only Godzilla film which ended with boom, headshot.
That was fun.
also didn't get to finish talking.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Just because I paused for 3 seconds.
Oh.
Always. Anywho, I really like that aspect of it. The whole he's taking from the
Yeah.
things what doesn't kill you makes you stronger as a Godzilla. And that they used that and the humans had the same response. It was both sides having the same growth. And just watching it happen, and also watching our protagonist, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and him becoming a better person and a healthier person because he's experiencing things that devastated him. He's healing on profound levels and becoming a better person.
That is some theme work. Damn.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Oh, I love this movie more now.
Also, Godzilla hurts itself every time it uses the nuclear breath.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was a very cool touch.
Burning from the inside.
Yes. Okay, feel free to cut this later.
Yeah.
I just want to dork out about something about the theme of an enemy adapting from what it gets attacked by.
Oh, always.
Sonic the Hedgehog issue 21, published in 1995, 28 years ago. I remembered that exact issue number because the inner artwork was done by Pat Spaziante, who was a
Okay.
great artist. Unfortunately written by Ken Penders. He was an okay writer for the time, but diva. But yeah, it was that kind of theme where he gets this bot sent at him, and you can see all of the different forms that it morphs into based on.
I've heard really good things about that Archie era of Sonic, and I guess I'll have to find methods of reading it since it's very out of print.
So you like Mega Man?
I
In my bedroom. I've got the literal entire... Well,
Okay.
but between the trades and individual issues, I do have the entire run of Archie Sonic.
Nice.
So...
I mean, yeah, that kind of is the whole Mega Man thing, too, of the... everything that... figuring out what the weaknesses of your opponent are to make you stronger, to eventually master the game until you're up against some unfair boss that forces you to use that one power that was never very useful in the first place. The final boss battle in Mega Man X sucks. I'm sorry. Anyway,
So
bad boss fight.
So like World's Strongest Robot.
Yeah, another really good. Actually,
This is just me making connections to other media now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. If you need a chaser for this, like with now that you mention it for similar themes, honestly, Pluto is not that different now that you say it.
Netflix Pluto, the Astro Boy adaptation.
Oh, okay.
Go watch that. Keith David's in the dub.
Keith David plays Dr. Tenma.
But no, I get so I think we can wrap this up. Probably, unless does anyone else have anything?
No.
Other than that, I had what I call a big stupid grin moment when all of the tugboats came in.
Same.
Oh,
And
God,
like that
was
moment
so
that has
good.
you like, ah!
When the guy they literally sacked from the mission because he hadn't been in the war at all
They
came back when
with you.
The useless ones are here. It pays to be useless.
It's like End of A New Hope. Woohoo!
I admit I was really hoping that one of the ships was called the Soyukaze, like in Irresponsible Space Captain Tyler.
Was it Yukikaze?
Was it?
It was the Yukikaze.
Oh, then the Yukikaze is in the film because one of the boats is called the Yukikaze.
Yeah.
So my bad moment from the film was in the first scene on Odo Island. That time when Godzilla just took and chucked a dude, I cheered. I was like, woo!
You very audibly cheered.
I shouldn't have, but oh boy, it was funny.
I was saying to Miles, like, yes, like, there are some very serious themes here, but you're lying to yourself if you don't come excited to see Godzilla wreck some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite, my last thing, one of my favorite, like, moments of comedy is at the start of the film when the main pilot is just kind of chilling by himself, being angsty, and the guy walks up and goes, yeah, I also think that the whole kamikaze thing is really stupid as well. Silence. Well, I guess I hear my laundry calling me and just walks away.
I left a laundry in the oven. I will...
I will go turn off the barbecue.
there was my dumbest Sally brain thinking of other media moment was as they were talking about how, well, we don't have any weapons on these battleships. I was like, oh man, there's so much ocean. If only the nuclear bombs would get rid of the ocean and then they could retrofit the Yamato and we could solve this real quick.
Alright.
Oh, the Murasashi was only half built. They could have finished it.
Yeah, they could have.
Alright, okay, I do have one last question for all four of us.
Okay.
Given that this year the four of us have seen Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and Godzilla -1 in cinemas, which was your most unabashed, enjoyable cinematic experience on the big screen?
Godzilla.
Blue Beetle.
Well, I have not seen, but I want to. I'm wanting to, but yeah.
I don't really have a proper answer for you.
Okay.
That's why I responded with Blue Beetle.
Biscuits.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, Ninja Turtles was great.
Recency bias, I want, like, Godzilla is really leaning in, but also, Shin Kamen Rider was literally the thing I have wanted since I was around 14, 15, and I started finding what limited Kamen Rider I could available to dial-up internet kids. So, like, that was a dream come true for me.
And I'm sitting in my corner being the only person who likes the Kamen Rider the first film.
I showed you that movie because I liked it. You see, you watched.
I know, I rate it higher.
That's fair. But yeah, I don't know. How about you, Miles?
I just watched Masked Rider, Saban's. Where's Furbus?
Out of the weird Japanese movies you saw this year.
Shin Furbus.
Exorcist.
Exorcist. Okay.
I might have to actually say...
House.
Haven't seen the cinema, unfortunately.
Well, I know, but...
Transformers Rise of the Beast... No!
No.
No.
Out of the 3 films, I think it's got to be an honest toss-up between Shin Ultraman and Godzilla.
I can
-1.
that.
Kamen Rider was good, but as much as I enjoyed the film, I always felt a slight disconnect with Shin Kamen Rider. I always felt like a step away from the film, so I was just kind of observing it and not really enjoying it. Whereas with Shin Ultraman, I felt pulled into the story and the characters from get-go.
I was only biased towards that one just a little bit, only because it was the only one I was able to be awake through. Out of his films.
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that I do think it's worth noting that I know you're a bit more Ultraman knowledgeable than I am, whereas I am very deep in the Kamen Rider lore. If I have to choose one over the other, I almost always pick Kamen Rider, even though recently, between Zet, Shin, and currently Blazar, I'm kind of becoming more of an Ultra person.
I wish I could.
Kaiju girls!
I wish I could admit to being basic bitch enough that it's because of all the Jerry Anderson Thunderbirds models that are dotted around the office and my envy, but I
don't tell him about the Thunderbirds tank that I have in the basement.
Whoa!
Tell me more.
About, the sub.
No, I'm
Thunderbird 4.
I'm not even...
The Yellow Submarine?
No.
I'm not even ankle deep in Kamen Rider or Ultraman. I just know from Miles for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's probably not too surprising that I was really into Godzilla a little bit more, but I wouldn't really call that the only reason. But I did enjoy all of them, for sure. But
out of all of them, I do think Godzilla was the best of the 3.
I think Godzilla was the best film.
It was the best film.
Ultraman and Kamen Rider were good, but
good, enjoyable.
They're enjoyable. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're great. But I wouldn't. If someone asked me, "Hey, how do I get into this Ultraman character?" I'm not gonna say Shin Ultraman because it feels like a TV show that literally just kind of hacked up to make a 2.5-hour film. Shin Kamen Rider more so. Whereas Godzilla can go okay, you've never seen Godzilla before. We can watch this, and you can have the basic knowledge of Godzilla, and you'd have a fun time.
Yeah.
You'd have a great story. You'd have really good emotional moments, and a really good cast of characters, which is really hard for sometimes it's really hard for a film to pull off all those in one.
Godzilla's been good at that for a long time, though, because even though it's such a long-running series, I do feel comfortable being check out this Godzilla movie.
Maybe it's because it's such a long-running series that it has all of those moments.
Once again,
you can
Astro Monster was a mistake.
I stand by. It's a good Nick Adams movie.
It's a Nick Adams movie that features big stompy
movie.
Monsters.
Look, if I could get a copy of Gigantus the Fire Monster, I would recommend that to everyone I could.
This had my attention through the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm feeling spoiled as a tokusatsu fan.
This made me feel the same way I felt when I was watching Metropolis for the first time.
Wow. Okay, that's high praise.
Fritz Lang's Metropolis.
Yeah, no. I'm... Okay, no, that's fair. This was engrossing. I really
Fritz
did
Lang's
like this.
Metropolis, I literally could not take my attention away from the screen.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. After this conversation, I really do feel as spoiled as we were as Toku fans this year, getting all the big ones in cinemas. I do feel like Godzilla was a perfect closer because it's just such a tightly made movie.
Yeah.
Every bit of dialogue is leading to something.
And
the plot's really tight. The characters work.
This film just seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider...
There's a whole lot of hullabaloo.
I was waiting for and anticipating for, like, a few years. And then, like, 6 months ago, it's like, yeah, Godzilla -1.
What?
Did I miss something?
Yeah, I remember hearing...
Godzilla -1 showed up just about as fast as Godzilla in Godzilla -1.
Like, kudos to the magnificent buggers at Toho who I announced a while ago that they were doing another live-action Godzilla, but then didn't, show us anything until, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, sure.
They actually told us after Shin that they were going to do another Godzilla movie. They said that they were working on it, but they didn't say anything.
But, yeah, we were...
Mum's the word until this year.
It's amazing that they kept this beautiful film in the dark for that long.
and also on a budget of $15 million.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously,
budget of $15 million.
Dang.
With a box office that currently at $34.2 million.
I mean, please keep in mind that part of how they can keep the budget so tight is because Japanese VFX houses are more overworked than American ones, but still,
By the legal release. By the legal release.
Man, I hope there's a legal release.
Yeah, I want if this gets a Blu-ray, we're picking this bad boy up.
Physical media, we're still
100%.
Yeah.
I say as I'm sitting in a room filled with physical media after
so much physical media.
And then we're going to a house filled with more physical media, and then going to our house.
And I was going to say, and you guys have been in Reanna's and my house, which is also filled to the brim with physical media.
And then
I took a picture of a shelf that has just as much physical media as in this room on one shelf.
Well, I'm sure we'll see you all for 2024's Shin Godzuki.
Okay, I want Godzilla to come out on Blu-ray in the US. Okay?
Make it happen, Toho.
I need it. Toho, please. You can't give us Hanna-Barbera, but you can give us Godzilla. Please. Please.
The trailer for the new Monsterverse movie dropped today.
Oh,
Godzilla X Kong, The Hidden Empire.
Fingers crossed?
It looks...
X-Kong?
Godzilla X Kong. Honestly...
I do not want to read that doujin.
Look, I'll have you know I'm a god Jaguar shipper. God Jaguar.
At least it's not Godzilla X Family, where Godzilla has to not let anyone know he's a spy. And Mothra doesn't let anyone know that she's an assassin. And Minya is adorable and wandering around trying to be a school kid, but he's psychic.
No, Minya's always a gremlin.
Like, in comparison, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, looks dumb as fuck. It looks like we're going into Megalon under subterranean Earth, people. Like, it looks like we're going into dumb as fuck. It looks like we're going into dumb as fuck 60s territory.
We go in sea monster territory?
I'm up for dumb as fuck 60s.
I was going to say, honestly, if the American studios...
If they start going sea monster, I'm here for it.
I think it's more like the Hidden Earth, like the underground Hidden Earth stuff they have.
Yeah, Ibira is Hidden Earth.
But all I'm saying is that if the American studios want to handle the dumb as fuck monster wrestle movies, and it means I keep getting these scary Japanese movies... I don't see a losing.
The trailer seems to give us a son of Kong, and Godzilla and King Kong doing the superhero run to attack the bad guy together thing. So
that's funny.
We're going into we're clearly going.
We're
going into Megalon.
So Mama and Papa are running fast.
Yeah,
and a bad guy.
As fast as
Okay, sorry. Auntie and Papa.
Because Godzilla, he's a chunky boy.
He's a
chunky waddly boy.
He's a chonker.
Waddle chonk.
If anything, that's probably the weirdest, like, if you do a marathon of the American movies, one of the weirdest, like, changes in tone is that, like, in Godzilla 2014 and in King of the Monsters, he's kind of slow and he's moving kind of slowly, and then suddenly in Godzilla vs. Kong,
He learned how to walk
like,
on land.
parkouring against an equally parkouring Mechagodzilla, and it's just...
I still think the most fun film out of that series of films has been Kong Skull Island.
Kong Skull Island has no business being as good as it is.
Like King of the Monsters is like a fun, dumb epic.
So much fun.
I always like throwing Miyavi into weird movies.
I like the one derpy Ghidorah head.
Yeah.
Poor boy's trying his best.
Derpy Ghidorah head's good, but yeah, like on the other hand, Kong Skull Island has Tom Hiddleston fighting pterodactyls with a katana.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not a great movie.
And our boys, the spiders.
Yeah.
And might be the best Vietnam film to ever use Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
Ow! Wow.
Might just be the best Vietnam movie other than Blood Plus.
Stands are gonna be.
Might be the only good Vietnam movie other than Blood the Last Vampire.
Wow. Weird take.
Wow.
Weird
the
take.
Coppola stands are gonna come for you.
I haven't watched very many Vietnam movies because, like, let's face it.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
I'll show you the original Rambo and you can be sad with me. It'll be fun. It's good to be a Godzilla fan right now.
Yeah.
It's good to be a Godzilla fan. It's great to see them make a joke about the Shin series in that movie. Which they did.
Yeah. And,
Sink at Substation 4.
Oh.
Someone, speaking of good jokes, someone pointed out that the poster for Shin is like the head and neck down of Godzilla's profile, but you can, if you put it next to the poster for -1, it looks like, where it's just Godzilla's back spines, it kind of looks like it's the same Godzilla.
Nice.
Which means, like, we need to make a third one where it'll look like Godzilla's moonwalking or something. I don't know.
All right.
How are we
American Godzilla, you got this.
No, that would next one after Godzilla X Kong is going to be Godzilla minus Pepsi.
Actually, no, what we use for that is the Netflix Gamera films, which is absolutely the correct vibe that Gamera should be having in regards to Gamera versus Godzilla right now. Meaning it's just fucking awful.
Oh, I like the cartoon. I like the Gamera cartoon. It's fun. It's fun. I stand it. It's fun.
Maybe we'll get Shin Mysterians.
Shinmuro.
Shin Zubat. That might be. So
Shin and Azumon.
Kaikat's Zubat is also, aside from being a Pokemon,
Zebraman?
Zubat is a Toku hero whose entire shtick is going around dressing like a cowboy and being like, he finds someone doing a random task and it'll be like, oh, I'm making dumplings. Those are the second best dumplings I've ever seen prepared. Who did the best? Well, me, of course. And then he'd show off.
That is the most American thing.
It's a great show. And by great, I mean quite bad. Iron King, Shin Iron King. I want to see Anno do a
Shin and
knockoff of.
No Shin and Azumon?
We had Shin and Azumon. He was the bad guy from Shin Kamen Rider.
Oh wait, no. That's right. He's in Precure.
Yeah, exactly. We're
Batamonda.
anyway.
What is that series of the trilogy of Japanese films about the giant statue that comes to life?
Daimajin.
They were Shin Daimajin.
Maybe I want to see him do it. Whatever. Hideaki Anno deserves to do whatever the fuck he wants right now.
More live action Yatterman.
He's tired. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us in this psychosexual venture into the brain of Godzilla fans.
Also,
thank you everyone for joining us, and as always,
keep on spooking
in the free world,
you weird celestial beings.
Listen to Casual Shrek.
Yes, please do.
Listen to weird podcasts.
Yeah, listen.
Watch more Godzilla. It's
more Godzilla.
almost all good.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Do some drugs.
Do the drugs prescribed to you by your doctor.
Those are definitely the only drugs I'm referring to.